Nothing better than some hot tea on a chilly day. Gotta find a spot for my mug next to the Hungry Hippos. And hello everybody, welcome back. And today I wanted to talk about 5 mistakes that oftentimes ruin trips. Mistakes that I myself have made. Most backpacking trips do not fall apart because of some huge disaster. They fall apart because of small mistakes, and they're often the kind you don't think about before the trip. But once you're out there, you will feel every single one of them. I've made all of these mistakes myself, and some of them nearly ended my trips early. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 biggest backpacking mistakes and how to avoid them. And if you're new here, my name is Scott Fitzgerald. Welcome to the channel. I spend a lot of time in the mountains backpacking, filming these adventures, and figuring out what exactly works, and also what doesn't. And this isn't theory. This is everything that I've learned myself through my own experience. And so without further ado, these are those 5 backpacking mistakes that oftentimes ruin trips. Mistake to avoid number 1, overpacking. We've all done it. Don't lie. And honestly, it comes from a good place. You want to be prepared. You don't want to forget anything, so you bring everything. Extra clothes, extra gear, and of course the classic just-in-case items. I remember one of my early trips, I had my pack loaded down with stuff I thought I needed. And within the first few miles, I could really feel it. Every step felt heavier, every incline felt steeper, and what should have been an enjoyable hike turned into just getting through it. Here's what I've learned since then. Weight compounds over distance. It's not just heavy at the start, it wears you down over time. Now every single item I bring has a purpose. If I'm not using it or it's not critical, it just doesn't come with me. And the difference is massive. I move better, I enjoy my time more out in the wilderness, and I have more energy when I get to camp. And that's really one of the main reasons I switched to ultralight backpacking, dialing in my kit and carrying only what I really need. If you take nothing else from this video, dial in your pack weight. Get some tea. And now time for mistake number 2. Bad campsite selection. You can have an incredible hike, but if your campsite is bad, it literally affects everything. I've had nights where the wind was just hammering my tent all night. I set up too close to water and everything got damp, or I picked a spot that looked fine until I tried to sleep on it and realized I was on a slant and was constantly fighting gravity all night. And when you don't sleep well, you really feel it the next day. Your energy is lower, your motivation drops, the whole trip feels so much harder. Now I'm way more intentional with my campsites. I look for natural wind protection such as trees, rocks, and terrain, flat ground, and this matters way more than you think, and good positioning, which is not too close to water, but accessible. And here's something most people don't think about. A great campsite isn't just about comfort, it's about experience. This is where you're spending your evening. This is where you're sleeping. This is where you're cooking, decompressing, and a good campsite elevates the entire trip, especially one with epic views, which I can't get enough of. And mistake number 3, misjudging elevation and mileage. And I know we've all done this. And this one gets a lot of people, because on paper, it looks so simple. Oh, it's gonna be 10 miles, that's completely fine. But what you don't see is the elevation gain, the terrain, the conditions. A 10-mile day with serious climbing can feel like 15 very easily, especially in the high Sierra. I've had trips where I planned a route that seemed totally doable, and halfway through I realized I was way behind, completely drained, and still had several miles to go. And that's not really where you want to be when you're on the trail. Now I plan much differently, and I look at total elevation gain, steepness of the climbs, and realistic pacing, not ideal pacing. And I build in some margin just in case I'm running a little behind. Because the goal isn't just to get to the finish line, it's to actually enjoy the experience while you're out there. If you're racing the clock the entire time, then what's the point? Mistake number 4, poor food and water planning. And this one doesn't hit right away. It builds over time. You don't bring enough calories, your food isn't efficient, or you assume water will be available and it's not. I've been there and it is horrible. You think you're gonna climb into the mountains and there's gonna be that stream that you've relied on in the past perhaps, but not all the time. And I've had an instance where I thought for sure there was going to be water where I was camping, but found there wasn't and had to backtrack a couple miles just to scoop up some water and bring it with me. So don't be that person. So I've been there. Low energy, slower pace, just feeling off. Now I keep things really simple with high calorie, lightweight food, easy meals, and nothing really complicated. And I always know where my water sources are. That last one is probably the hugest tip I could offer is plan, but especially know where your water sources are and read up on them. Check the latest trip reports. All Trails is pretty good for daily trip reports, or even sometimes weekly, depending on how remote and utilized this trail is. But always check in on your water. That way you know exactly where your next water source is going to be, and you're never going to run out. Because once you're low on water, everything changes. Your decisions change, your pace changes, your stress levels go up. And so before you map out every trip, map out exactly where you're getting water and how much you're going to be carrying in between water sources. And the last mistake, number 5, not respecting conditions. Not respecting conditions is probably the most serious and the most common mistake made in the backcountry. The mountains can change very fast, where the weather shifts, temperatures drop, and the winds pick up. And if you're not prepared for this, it can turn uncomfortable or even unsafe, depending on what the conditions bring. I've had moments where conditions change very quickly, from sunny skies to all of a sudden being caught in a thunderstorm. Now, before I head out, I always check the weather before the trip, and I plan for much worse than expected, not really best case scenarios. I also bring layers that actually matter, like a lightweight rain jacket that not only acts as a rain jacket, but also a windbreaker in case I'm really caught out there in a heavy storm. Because the reality is you don't rise to the conditions. You fall back on your preparation. And if your preparation isn't there, you feel it almost immediately. Well, that is it. Those are the 5 common mistakes often made in the backcountry. I hope they were helpful and hope you avoid these common mistakes moving forward. At the end of the day, backpacking isn't about being perfect. It's about minimizing the mistakes that make trips harder than they really need to be. If you can avoid these 5 things, you're going to have better trips, more enjoyable experiences, and honestly, a lot more fun out there. If this video has helped you out, hit the like button as it really helps the channel. And if you're into backpacking, gear, and getting out into the places like this, please consider subscribing. I've got a lot more videos coming, especially now that it's spring and summer is just around the corner. So I'll see you on the next one, and possibly in the High Sierra. Thanks everyone. Take care. Bye-bye. You're still there.